Previously on board.
Now let's turn our attention to the world of motorsport for the next couple of minutes. Let's start off with the Dakar, where Stefan Hansel has edged closer to the lead of the Dakar. He won the 9th stage of the rally yesterday. Took his second victory in 3 days to reduce the gap to the leader, Nani Roma, to only 12 minutes. How's that? Very, very cool. Nasser Al-Attiyah finished second. Nani Roma finished third. He lost 11 minutes on that stage. Orlando Terranova was fourth. And Janelle de Villiers came in fifth, 22 minutes off the pace. But Janelle de Villiers has lodged a formal protest against Vladimir Vasiliev, who was in the X-Raid Mini, who apparently for like 120 kilometers kept him blocked, and they were driving in the dust the whole way. And the guy should have got out the way. So that's not very cool. So Janelle drops from third to fifth at the moment. But there's only 5 minutes difference between him and Orlando Terranova in third place. But him and Nasser Al-Attiyah have exactly the same time. So we'll keep you updated, of course, tomorrow with the rest that is continuing as well in the Dakar. Looking at the world of Formula One now. We get to a very peculiar time in the world of Formula One now where, yes, we're all waiting anxiously for news about Michael Schumacher. There is nothing forthcoming at the moment, okay? Nothing at the moment. The latest news that came out is that the doctors have removed a part of the skull to relieve the pressure within the brain. Okay, that's the latest news. But now we get to a time where we're all waiting in anticipation, besides that news, also the launch of the new cars to come out, and then, of course, the first test that'll take place in Gearz in about 2 weeks' time, about 11 days from now. But because of that, it means that the various pundits around the world have to write stuff about the world of Formula One just to make up pages. So they've gone and brought up something like, should reverse grids be used in Formula One? Now, it's quite simple. No. You're at the back because you're not fast enough. It's quite simple. Why now must the guy who's at the front be compromised because he is faster and has a better car now that he must now drive through the field? Yes, from a spectator point of view, it would be terrific. But
that's lame.
But it's lame. It doesn't make any sense at all. Personally, I think is incorrect. If we are trying to make entertainment the main focus of Formula One, then you know what? We should have the guys stop at every corner, get out of their cars, wave to the crowds, then get in them, spin some donuts, and then drive around the track for an hour and a half. And you know what? This is not what it's about. I'm sorry. This is about motor racing, reverse grids, working in other forms of motorsport, but not in Formula One. So no, I don't agree with that. Also, very important news. I'll get to the very important story in a couple of seconds from now. Just to let you know, Kimi Räikkönen was back at the Ferrari head office yesterday in Maranello. He went for a lovely lunch first and then started getting into work in the Formula One Ferrari simulator. He said, it's good to be back at work. I began by getting used to all of the new systems and procedures that we will use this year. From my point of view, the simulator is really very useful. Oh no, from this point of view, not his point of view, because he doesn't like the simulator. Anyway, but he's going to have to get in there to learn things because we've got completely different engines this year. 1600 V6 turbo-driven engines. So it means the steering wheels are going to be completely different. They're going to have a whole lot of different gadgets that'll be on there as well. And finally, the most important news in the world of Formula One at the moment, Formula One teams have been called to a summit meeting with the FIA in Geneva on the 22nd, which is next Tuesday, to try and make progress on framing future rules, including a cost cap. And I'll put it to you this way. It's very, very simple. A team like Lotus, who were the second best team on the grid last year, without a doubt. They really had a fantastic package. They had great drivers in Räikkönen and in Romain Grosjean. For them to be in a state of financial problem at this stage, being the second best team in Formula One, tells you there is something fundamentally wrong with the amount of money that is being used and spent in Formula One. A team that's second fastest on the grid is now struggling to to actually have to get their car built, and they're not even going to be at the first test. I think there is a problem that they're going to have to try and figure out in the future. There have been many approaches and proposed solutions that have been given by various teams, and hopefully the FIA, together with the teams, on next week Tuesday, will come to some kind of idea as to how Formula One will be run and how they're going to manage the finances. Don't forget, we also have to look beyond the Bernie Ecclestone era. Bernie Ecclestone's 85 years old. He's not going to be there forever, and perhaps maybe even for not much longer. The teams have to have some kind of plan in place for how the sport will go forward. You're not going to have another Bernie Ecclestone, and you can't leave it up to one of the teams to try and put it together, and you can't leave it up to all of the teams to manage it. It needs to be something independent, but it will need to have the input from the teams in order for them to maintain the ability to stay in the world of Formula One. So there we go. That's a look at the world of Formula One. As the news comes, of course, I will give it to you right here on Gearz.
Gearz. GearzOnBalls.co.za.
Weekdays 1 p.m. to 3 p.m.